For this week's Systems Insight, I thought I would do something a little bit different and give you a practical exercise that you can do to have a look at your systems for the client experience, for any part of the client experience. You can do this. Today I'm going to talk about onboarding, from them coming to find you to booking their Kickstart call, basically. And I'm also just going to give a brief overview of the tasks. Every business will be different, but most of these will apply to each one in some way or another. So this exercise basically is a practical one that allows you to, first of all, write down every single part of the process. So I haven't even written every part of the process in the example here. You can do that whenever you go to do it yourself. So grab some post-it notes or even just little bits of paper, and I want you to write down from somebody experiencing you for the first time. So how do they find you? For example, it could be your website, could be your social media, it could be, a flyer in the coffee shop, but whatever way that you reach your people. And write down every single client touch point along the way. So that includes every time they have to wait for something, anytime you have communication with them, anything that they physically need to do, and write it down in a big row. So as you can see, we've got visit website, submit inquiry form, wait for reply, back and forth emails to find a call time that suits both of us, book a connection call, have the connection call, deliver the proposal, sign the proposal, make their payment, client or onboarding questionnaire, and book their Kickstart call. So there's likely more touch points during an onboarding process than this, but I want every single one of them, no matter how little it is, every time they have to wait. So perhaps you could even have a wait for reply here between the proposal delivery and the connection call, because there's a chance that you'll have to put together the proposal email before you deliver it to them. So then the next step is to draw a line or put an imaginary line somewhere. You need to know where the line is though, and we're going to map out how positive or negative these touch points are. So if I move myself up here, make me a little bit smaller and show you what we're going to do here. So visit the website. This is probably a positive touch point. Someone's excited, they maybe know that they need help, in which case, if it's somebody if you're a business that really supports people when they're in the pits of it, then this might actually be a negative touch point below the line, because they're feeling something when they come to you with this. So if we pop it above, then we've got submit inquiry form. They're probably quite excited. In your case, if you don't have a working inquiry form, if there's something going wrong, this could also be a negative touch point. Wait for a reply. This is probably on the negative side, although it's not necessarily a bad thing. For them, they don't feel excited and positive about it. Same with back and forth emails. They're maybe feeling a little bit annoyed that they have to do that. Book a connection call. Again, this could be on the excited point where they're looking forward to it. Have the connection call, even more positive. Wait for reply, could be down here. They've had the connection call, so they're feeling good about it. So it's maybe not as low as the initial back and forth emails, but it's down here. If there's a neutral point, that would be here. So proposal delivery, they get the proposal, they're probably quite excited. Similarly with sign proposal, but then making a payment is normally considered a negative touch point because they have to part with their money. Onboarding questionnaire, dependent on how long it is, maybe it's a little bit annoying, maybe it's neutral. We'll pop it here, and then book a Kickstart call, maybe up here. So as you can see, we've got the process where they maybe go through this sort of roller coaster of like super excited to, oh, that's a little bit annoying, and back and forth. And then what I want you to do is look at anything that is below the neutral line and have a think about how you can make that a little bit more of a positive touch point. So for example, visit website, submit an inquiry form, wait for a reply, back and forth emails. So the way that you could potentially make this a much more positive touch point is by removing them or making it so that it's a little bit easier. So if I make this green, we have got redirect to call booking form where they can book a call straight in. So this is now a really positive touch point, and we don't need these two because we already have this section booked in. Then if we move along here, book a connection call, have the connection call, wait for a reply, proposal delivery. There's probably not much you can do here unless you have an automated proposal, but if you personalize it, what we could make it a little bit more positive is by, if it's going to be a period of time before you send it over, we can do some expectation setting, either with an email to make them really aware of what the process is going to look like, and make that a little bit more neutral. So maybe set expectation on response time. It could be sending them a freebie to give them something in the meantime to work on and get them excited to work with you. Then we've got proposal delivery, which is normally quite good. Sign proposal is quite good. Make payment is normally on the negative aspect. You could make this more positive through how it is delivered. So for example, if they automatically then get a success page where it's like, whoa, you're in, congratulations, that can help make that a little bit higher on this scale to neutral, or something around the delivery of it that makes it more positive. Onboarding questionnaire, you could make this more positive by thinking about how that is done, making sure that it's not unnecessarily long, and thinking about when that is delivered. And then booking a kickstart call, we can bring these all closer together so that they are happening sort of back to back rather than over an extended period of time, because that can make it a more positive experience there. So when we look at this can be done for every single part of your client journey with you. What we're basically trying to do, we're not trying to remove these lower ones, because sometimes it's not possible. If people have to part with their money, that is always going to be a slightly negative sort of experience, but we can look at how we can bring them up, how we can make them a better experience, and we can do that through systems, and we can do that through really thinking about the client along the journey and avoiding too many back and forth emails, avoiding like long wait times and things like that to help this journey along. So I would love for you to go away and to really do this for yourself. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to implement. Some of them don't need to change if that's just the way that they need to be or the way that they are. But it should give you some food for thought on how you can really think about your client experience and the processes that you have in your business to make that a much more positive interaction, and therefore ultimately build the trust, build the set the expectations so that people know what to expect when they work with you, and then by the time that they get started with you, they're really excited. And similarly for throughout the client journey, when they're working with you, how can you bring these touch points up higher on the scale? And also offboarding, making offboarding really clear, calm, controlled, can support the client experience, support retention, support return, and support word of mouth as well. So that is this week's Systems Insight. Let me know how you get on.